If you have kidney issues, one of the biggest mistakes you can make is choosing the wrong protein, because some proteins look healthy on the outside, but inside your body they can quietly add more phosphorus, potassium, sodium, acid, and waste your kidneys have to fight to remove. The scary part is you may not feel it right away. At first, it may only show up as tired legs, swollen ankles, muscle cramps, itchy skin, or blood test results that keep getting worse, even when you believe you're eating healthy. And that's why today's video is so important. I'm going to show you 6 common proteins that may be putting extra stress on your kidneys, including some that are sitting in many kitchens right now. Then I'll show you 4 safer protein choices that are easier to digest, gentler on your kidneys, and better for protecting your strength and energy. So before your next meal, watch this carefully, because one protein on this list may surprise you, and it may be one you've trusted for years. Before we begin, tell me in the comments, which protein do you eat most often? I'm curious what you're working with, because today you might discover a better option. Now let's begin with a small grain that is doing something very big for kidney health. Protein number 4, quinoa, the gentle, complete grain. It doesn't look like much. Tiny seeds, soft texture, no strong flavor. But what if I told you this little grain is actually a complete protein? It may be one of the safest and most effective options for people with kidney issues. Its name is quinoa, and for people with kidney damage, it could be the difference between feeling sluggish and feeling strong again. Here's why. Quinoa contains all 9 essential amino acids. That's rare, especially for a plant. Many plant proteins are lower in 1 or more essential amino acids. But quinoa delivers the full building blocks your body needs to maintain muscle energy and immunity. But even more important, it does this without overloading your kidneys. Let's break it down. 1 cup of cooked quinoa gives you about 8 grams of high-quality protein. That is enough to support tissue repair and muscle strength, but gentle enough to avoid flooding your kidneys with waste. It is also relatively low in phosphorus and potassium compared with many higher mineral foods. That makes it safer than many legumes or grains that can spike mineral levels and stress damaged kidneys. And there is something else hidden inside quinoa: dietary fiber. Fiber helps bind and remove uremic toxins from your gut, so your kidneys do not have to deal with as much of that burden. That means less waste, less pressure, and more energy for you. Now here is what makes quinoa even more special. Its amino acid profile is similar to milk protein, which means your body can use it efficiently with less metabolic waste left behind. And when your kidneys are already struggling to clear nitrogen and acid, that kind of efficiency is gold. Let me share a story. Sandra was 70 and had stage 4 CKD. She had trouble with grains like brown rice and lentils. They spiked her potassium and left her bloated. Her dietitian recommended quinoa. Within a few weeks, Sandra's digestion improved, her energy stabilized, and her lab numbers stopped bouncing around. It wasn't magic, it was a better choice. Now let's talk about preparation. Before cooking quinoa, always rinse it thoroughly. There is a natural coating called saponin that can irritate digestion if it is not removed. So run it under cold water, swirl it, drain it, then cook it. Stick to 1/2 cup to 1 cup per day, depending on your protein needs. You can eat it warm or cold, pair it with steamed vegetables, add it to kidney-safe soups, or mix it with a few cubes of tofu for a complete, easy-to-digest meal. Just avoid high-sodium toppings like feta cheese or instant quinoa with added salt or flavor packs. Keep it simple, clean, gentle. Because with quinoa, you are not just eating a grain. You are giving your kidneys a break. You are giving your body energy without the inflammation, acid, and strain that can come from the wrong protein. And for people fighting fatigue, swelling, or lab numbers that just will not improve, this small switch can change everything. Now let's move to protein number 3. It is not a plant. It is not a grain. but it is one of the cleanest animal proteins you can eat, and your kidneys will thank you for it. Protein number 3, tilapia, the lean, low-load fish. Sometimes your body craves something warm, something hearty, something that satisfies without weighing you down. If you have kidney issues and you still want to enjoy animal-based protein, tilapia might be one of your best options. It is a mild, lean white fish. It is low in fat, gentle on digestion, and easy to prepare. But most importantly, it does not overwhelm your kidneys the way red meat can. A 100-gram serving of tilapia gives you around 22 grams of high-quality protein. That is more than enough to maintain your muscles, your strength, and your energy. But unlike beef or lamb, tilapia has less phosphorus, less saturated fat, and far fewer inflammatory compounds. That means your kidneys work less, your heart stays healthier, and your body feels lighter inside and out. There is more. Tilapia provides vitamin B12 and selenium. These are 2 nutrients that support kidney metabolism and help reduce oxidative stress. And because tilapia is easy to digest, it will not flood your system with nitrogen waste like heavier meats can. How should you cook it? Keep it gentle. Steam it, bake it, lightly grill it. Use fresh herbs, a little lemon or a pinch of pepper. Avoid deep frying or heavy sauces. They only add salt and stress. 1 or 2 4-ounce servings per week is plenty. George, 67, was always tired. His uric acid levels were high, but after replacing red meat with steamed tilapia, his appetite improved, his labs got better, and his energy came back. Sometimes the solution is simple, and in this case, it swims. Protein number 2, tofu, the anti-inflammatory plant powerhouse. It is soft, it is simple, and for many people, it is confusing. But if you are living with kidney issues, tofu might be one of the smartest protein choices you can make. It does not scream superfood. It does not have a strong taste, but inside this quiet little block is a combination of nutrients that is surprisingly perfect for fragile kidneys. Let's start with the basics. A half cup of tofu gives you around 10 grams of clean plant-based protein with far less phosphorus than animal meats. That is critical, because when phosphorus builds up, it pulls calcium from your bones, damages blood vessels, and speeds up kidney decline. Tofu helps you avoid that. It also has a more neutral pH, unlike meat, which can increase the acid load in your body. Tofu supports better acid-base balance, giving your kidneys less work to do. And there is more. Tofu contains isoflavones and natural antioxidants that help calm inflammation. That matters because inflammation is one of the silent drivers of kidney disease. Tofu is also gentle to digest. It does not leave behind excess nitrogen waste, so your kidneys do not have to filter as much. Now here is the key. Keep your preparation simple. Soft tofu works great in smoothies or scrambles. Firm tofu can be grilled or baked, just avoid salty marinades and sauces. Choose organic non-GMO tofu when possible. Keep the sodium low. Mark 58 was skeptical. He had stage 4 CKD. After switching from red meat to tofu, his phosphorus dropped, his energy improved, and his blood pressure stabilized. Sometimes the foods we overlook are the ones that support us best. Protein number 1, egg whites. Pure, powerful, and kidney smart. They are small, they are easy to cook, and they might be one of the cleanest proteins your kidneys will ever meet. We are talking about egg whites, not the whole egg, just the white. Because when you separate it from the yolk, you get kidney-safe protein with much less phosphorus, cholesterol, and saturated fat. Let's go deeper. Each large egg white delivers about 3.6 grams of complete protein. That means all 9 essential amino acids ready to repair muscles, support immunity, and keep your energy stable. But here is what makes egg whites so helpful for people with kidney issues. The phosphorus content is incredibly low, only about 10 milligrams per egg white compared with around 86 milligrams in a whole egg. That is a huge difference. Because when phosphorus builds up in your blood, it weakens bones, hardens arteries, and burdens already fragile kidneys. Egg whites help reduce that problem. They also contain virtually no purines, so they are less likely to raise your uric acid levels. That means less risk of gout flare-ups and less added stress on filtration. Egg whites contain highly digestible proteins, including ovalbumin, which your body can use efficiently. It is efficient, it is easy to absorb, and it is considered a gold standard protein by scientists. It has a biological value of 100, which means your body uses it very efficiently, with very little waste left for your kidneys to clean up. Maria, 62, was struggling with stage 3 CKD. She swapped her daily meat for 3 to 4 egg whites, boiled, steamed, or lightly scrambled without oil. Within weeks, her phosphorus dropped, her energy improved, and her stress around food disappeared. That is the beauty of egg whites. They give you freedom. You can add them to oatmeal, toss them into a stir fry, or roll them in a kidney-safe wrap. They are light, versatile, gentle on your heart, and even gentler on your kidneys. Just one note, always cook them. Raw egg whites can block biotin absorption over time, and skip the frying pan. Oils, salts, and additives can undo their benefits. Choose organic or pasture-raised eggs when you can. If you are buying liquid egg whites, check the label. No added sodium, no preservatives. Because a small swap like choosing egg whites over whole eggs or red meat can create big changes in your labs and your life. Now let's talk about the other side. The proteins that may look safe but could be harming your kidneys every single day. Protein to avoid: number 6, beef steak. Heavy on flavor, heavier on your kidneys. It is rich, it is satisfying, and for many people, it is hard to give up. But if your kidneys are struggling, beefsteak might be one of the heaviest burdens you are putting on them. Let's start with what is inside. Yes, steak is high in protein, but that protein comes with a price: high phosphorus, high saturated fat, and high uric acid production. That is a triple threat for aging kidneys. When phosphorus builds up, it pulls calcium from your bones, weakens your skeleton, and increases your risk of vascular calcification. That is when blood vessels harden like cement. Then there is saturated fat. It can clog arteries, reduce blood flow, and promote inflammation inside the kidneys. Over time, that inflammation chips away at your filtering power. And then there is uric acid. Red meats like steak are loaded with purines. Purines turn into uric acid. And when uric acid levels get too high, you may face gout, joint pain, and faster kidney decline. James, 72, had stage 3 CKD. He ate steak 2 to 3 times a week. He felt strong until the labs came in. Elevated creatinine, high uric acid, gout in his feet. Once he swapped steak for lighter proteins like egg whites and fish, his numbers improved, and the pain started to fade. It was not easy, but it was necessary, because here is the truth: even occasional steak can add up. And for kidneys that are already working overtime, every bite matters. If you want to protect the function you still have, choose leaner, lower phosphorus alternatives. Your body will thank you, so will your kidneys. Now let's look at protein number 5. It is not what you think, and it might already be sitting in your pantry right now. Protein to avoid: number 5, canned black beans. A sneaky source of stress for your kidneys. They sound healthy, they look healthy, and most people never think twice before adding them to a meal. But if you have kidney problems, canned black beans could be doing more harm than good. Let me explain. Yes, beans are plant-based. Yes, they contain fiber and protein. But when it comes to canned black beans, the danger is in the details. Let's start with potassium. 1 cup, even after rinsing, can contain over 600 milligrams of potassium. That is a huge load for weakened kidneys, and if your kidneys cannot remove it fast enough, that potassium builds up in your blood. The result can be irregular heart rhythms, muscle weakness, and in serious cases, cardiac arrest. But there is more. Canned beans are often loaded with sodium, sometimes 300 to 500 milligrams per serving. That much salt causes fluid retention, spikes blood pressure, and increases the burden on your heart and kidneys. Then there is phosphorus. Beans naturally contain it, but in cans it often comes with phosphate additives. These are the most dangerous kind because synthetic phosphates are absorbed rapidly. That makes blood levels spike higher and faster. Teresa, 66, had stage 4 CKD. She loved her daily bean bowl, but despite eating healthy, her potassium levels kept climbing. Her doctor told her the truth. It was not the beans, it was the canned beans. Once she switched to dried beans properly soaked and portion controlled, her potassium stabilized, her swelling improved, and she finally felt back in control. Here is the lesson. Beans are not the enemy. The form, the portion, and the preparation make all the difference. If you still want to enjoy them, use dried beans soaked overnight. If you must use canned beans, look for no salt-added versions. Rinse them thoroughly and limit your portion to half a cup or less, because what feels like a healthy choice can quietly become a kidney stressor if you are not careful. Now let's move to protein number 4. It is one of the most popular supplements in the world, but for kidney patients, it might be doing far more harm than good. Protein to avoid number 4, whey protein isolate. Popular, powerful, and problematic for your kidneys. It is everywhere, in health stores, in gym bags, in those shiny tubs that promise strength, muscle, and energy. But if you have kidney issues, whey protein isolate may be quietly working against you. Let's break it down. Whey protein isolate is marketed as clean and pure, and in many ways it is. It is high in protein, low in fat, and absorbs quickly. But here is what most people never hear. That speed and density can overwhelm damaged kidneys, because with every scoop, you are flooding your body with concentrated nitrogen waste that your kidneys now have to work even harder to clear. In people with normal kidneys, that may not be a problem. But if your kidney function is already reduced, that extra load can push you toward fatigue, swelling, and even faster decline. It does not stop there. Many whey protein isolates are high in phosphorus, even though it is rarely listed on the label. That phosphorus, once absorbed, can strip calcium from your bones, harden arteries, and increase cardiovascular risk in kidney patients. And unlike whole foods, whey protein powders lack balance. There is no fiber, no antioxidants, no protective compounds to offset the metabolic stress. Dan, 48, was active and healthy looking, but his doctor diagnosed him with early-stage kidney disease. He used whey isolate daily, believing it was helping him stay fit. But his creatinine kept climbing, his energy dropped, and he felt worse with each passing month. Only after replacing his powders with whole food proteins like tofu, quinoa, and egg whites did his labs stabilize and his fatigue lift. The lesson is simple. If your kidneys are struggling, the goal is not just high protein. The goal is smart protein, the kind your body can use without harm. So if you are still using powders, ask yourself, is it worth the risk? Now let's move to protein number 3. It is quick, it is cheap, it is everywhere. But for your kidneys, it is one of the worst proteins to eat. Protein to avoid number 3. Hot dogs, a triple threat to your kidneys. They are fast, they are cheap, they are found in lunchboxes, ballparks, and weekend barbecues. But for your kidneys, hot dogs are one of the most dangerous foods you can eat. Here is why. First, they are ultra-processed. That means they are not just meat. They are a mix of fillers, binders, preservatives, and chemical additives. Each one can be harder for your kidneys to handle. Let's talk about sodium. A single hot dog can contain over 600 milligrams of salt. That is nearly a third of the daily limit for someone with kidney disease, and most people do not stop at just one. This sodium raises blood pressure, causes fluid retention, and makes your kidneys work overtime just to keep up. Then come the phosphate additives. These are synthetic phosphates added to preserve shelf life color and texture, and they are absorbed almost 100% into your bloodstream. That is the kind of phosphorus that quickly raises your blood levels, leading to calcium loss, bone weakening, and heart strain. But the damage does not stop there. Hot dogs are also full of nitrates. These are preservatives linked to increased inflammation in the kidneys and blood vessels, inflammation that accelerates kidney decline, quietly, relentlessly. Michael, 71, had stage 3 CKD. He loved hot dogs. Quick lunch, no cleanup, but over time his GFR dropped. His blood pressure spiked, and he did not understand why. When he finally cut them out, things changed. His swelling reduced, his labs improved, and his energy began to return. Here is the truth. If the label has ingredients you cannot pronounce, be careful. If it comes vacuum sealed and ready in 30 seconds, it is probably not helping your kidneys. Hot dogs may seem harmless, but for someone with reduced kidney function, they are a triple threat. Sodium, phosphorus, nitrates, all attacking your kidneys from different angles. Now let's move to protein number 2. It is a plant-based food, often praised as healthy. But for people with kidney issues, it hides a dangerous load. Protein to avoid number 2, red lentils. The plant-based risk no one warns you about. They look innocent, tiny, earthy, natural. And for years, red lentils have been praised as one of the best plant-based proteins on the planet. But if you have kidney issues, they may be causing more harm than good. Here is why. Yes, red lentils are rich in fiber and protein, but they are also extremely high in potassium and phosphorus. Let's talk numbers. 1 cooked cup of red lentils contains over 350 milligrams of phosphorus and more than 700 milligrams of potassium. That combination can be dangerous for anyone with reduced kidney function, because when your kidneys cannot clear potassium efficiently, it builds up in the blood, and too much potassium can cause irregular heart rhythms, muscle weakness, or in severe cases, sudden cardiac arrest. Excess phosphorus does not just sit quietly either. It strips calcium from your bones. It promotes vascular calcification, and it can push the kidneys toward faster decline, especially in later stages of CKD. But here is the tricky part. Most people think it is plant-based. It must be healthy. And in general, yes. But when kidneys are damaged, even healthy foods need to be re-evaluated. Leo, 59, was vegan. He had stage 4 CKD. He ate red lentils almost every day. He felt tired and dizzy, and his potassium levels kept spiking despite everything else being clean. His doctor made one change: cut the lentils, switch to lower potassium grains like quinoa or white rice. Within 2 weeks, his labs improved, his energy came back, and the arrhythmia symptoms disappeared. The lesson is this: not all plant-based proteins are kidney safe. When you have CKD, the numbers matter. So if you are eating red lentils, often it is time to pause, check your portion, and talk to your dietitian about safer alternatives. Because even natural foods can carry hidden risks when your kidneys are vulnerable. But now let's talk about the final protein on this list. And this one is different. It is not a bean. It is not a grain. It is not even a food most people think of as dangerous. In fact, many people choose it because they believe it is the healthier option. They gave up regular bacon. They avoided sausage. They tried to make a smarter breakfast choice. But this healthier protein may still be quietly loading your body with sodium preservatives and phosphate additives. Protein to avoid number 1, turkey bacon. The healthier bacon that may still hurt your kidneys. It sounds lighter, it sounds leaner, and for many people, turkey bacon feels like the smart choice. After all, it is not pork bacon. It looks thinner, it has less fat, and the word turkey makes it sound almost healthy. But if you have kidney issues, turkey bacon can still be a hidden problem, because even though it may be lower in fat than regular bacon, it is still a processed meat. And processed meats can be very hard on weakened kidneys. Here is why. First, turkey bacon is often loaded with sodium. That salty flavor does not happen by accident. Many slices are cured, seasoned, and preserved with added salt. And when sodium builds up in your body, it pulls in water. That can lead to swelling in your feet, ankles, hands, or face. It can raise your blood pressure, and it can force your kidneys to work harder just to keep fluid levels under control. For someone with healthy kidneys, that may not seem like a big deal, but for someone with reduced kidney function, that extra sodium can become a daily burden. And most people do not eat just one thin slice. They eat 2, 3, sometimes 4. Then they add toast, eggs, cheese, or a breakfast sandwich, and suddenly what looked like a small breakfast becomes a high-sodium meal your kidneys were not ready for. But sodium is only the first problem. Turkey bacon may also contain phosphate additives. These are added to improve texture, moisture, color, and shelf life. And this matters because phosphate additives are absorbed much more easily than the natural phosphorus found in whole foods. When phosphorus levels rise too high, your body may start pulling calcium from your bones. Over time, that can weaken bones, stiffen blood vessels, and increase stress on your heart and kidneys. That is why phosphate additives are especially concerning for people with CKD. And here is the part many people miss. Phosphorus is not always easy to spot on the nutrition label. Sometimes it hides in the ingredient list under words that include phos. Words like sodium phosphate, calcium phosphate, potassium phosphate, or phosphoric acid. If you see phos on the label, that is a warning sign. Then there are preservatives. Many processed meats, including turkey bacon, may contain nitrates or nitrites. These are used to preserve color and prevent spoilage. But for people with kidney issues, heavily processed foods can add more inflammatory stress to the body. And inflammation is one of the silent forces that can make kidney problems worse over time. That is why turkey bacon can be so misleading. It wears the costume of a healthier food, but inside it may still carry the same problems that make processed meats risky: sodium, phosphate additives, preservatives, and a processed protein load that your kidneys have to handle. Let me give you an example. Elaine, 68, thought she was doing everything right. She gave up regular bacon. She stopped eating sausage. And every morning she made herself 2 slices of turkey bacon because she believed it was the kidney-friendly choice. But her ankles kept swelling. Her blood pressure stayed high, and her labs were not improving the way she hoped. Then she looked closer at the label. The turkey bacon she trusted was packed with sodium and phosphate additives, so she made a simple change. She replaced turkey bacon with egg whites and a small side of fresh vegetables. Within a few weeks, her mornings felt lighter, her swelling improved, and she finally realized the problem was not breakfast itself. It was the processed protein hiding inside it. Here is the lesson. Turkey bacon is not automatically safe just because it is turkey, and it is not kidney-friendly just because it has less fat than regular bacon. When you have kidney issues, the question is not only, is this lower in fat? The better question is, how much sodium does it have? Does it contain phosphate additives? Is it heavily processed? And will this make my kidneys work harder? If you still choose turkey bacon, keep the portion very small. Read the label carefully. Look for lower sodium options. Avoid products with phosphate additives, and do not make it an everyday habit. But if your goal is to protect your kidneys, there are better choices. Egg whites, tofu, tilapia, or a small portion of quinoa. These give your body useful protein without the same processed load, because sometimes the food that looks like the healthier version is still not the safest choice, and turkey bacon is a perfect example. It may be lighter than regular bacon, but for struggling kidneys, it can still be heavy. Now let's shift from problems to power. Let me show you a simple daily habit that supports your kidneys every morning. Bonus habit: a morning walk. The simple movement that boosts kidney health. It does not require a gym. It does not cost a thing. And it might be one of the most powerful habits your kidneys never get prescribed. It is a 20-minute morning walk. That is it. No equipment, no speed. Just you moving your body gently each morning. Why is it so powerful? Because movement increases blood circulation. And when blood flow improves, your kidneys receive more oxygen, more nutrients, and more support to filter waste efficiently. A walk also helps regulate blood pressure and blood sugar. These are two of the biggest enemies of kidney function. And unlike intense workouts, walking is gentle. It does not flood your body with lactic acid or stress hormones. It simply encourages your organs to wake up and do their jobs better. Studies show that regular walking can support GFR, your kidney filtration rate, lower inflammation, reduce water retention, and increase insulin sensitivity. But perhaps the biggest benefit is your mindset. Most patients say the same thing. After walking, I feel lighter, clearer, more in control. That is powerful. So tomorrow morning, before the phone rings, before the noise of the day begins, step outside, breathe, walk, give your kidneys the oxygen and movement they need to recover. And keep going. Now let's bring it all together. Let's take a moment to reflect. You now know the truth. Not all protein is safe, and for someone living with kidney issues, every bite matters. You have learned about 4 kidney-smart proteins that nourish your body without overworking your kidneys. Quinoa, complete low-stress plant protein. Tilapia, lean, clean, and easy to digest. Tofu, anti-inflammatory, gentle and protective. Egg whites, pure, low in phosphorus and efficient. You have also uncovered the 6 high-risk proteins to avoid, the ones that can flood your kidneys with sodium phosphorus acid or nitrogen waste. Turkey bacon, red lentils, hot dogs, whey protein isolate, canned black beans, beef steak, and you now have one simple daily habit. A short morning walk that supports your kidneys from the inside out. Because healing is not always complicated. Sometimes it is about small, intentional choices made consistently. One protein swap, one less processed food, one walk outside. These things add up. They protect your filtration, they reduce pressure, they give your kidneys room to breathe and recover. So now it is your turn. Which protein will you swap this week? Egg whites instead of steak, tofu instead of bacon? Let me know in the comments. Your small decision could inspire someone else. And if you found this video helpful, tap like, subscribe to Health Tips 60 and turn on notifications so you never miss a life-changing kidney tip. And please share this with a friend facing kidney issues. You might just give them the one message they needed to hear. Remember, you are not powerless. You are not stuck. You do not have to wait until things get worse. Because strength, balance, and clarity all begin with your next bite. I am rooting for your health.